people from the continent, people from off the continent, but African-centered people. Because at this time in our African nation, we need to start rebuilding. And the only way to rebuild is to see what we did yesterday so we can do it again. And in any great African nation that has gone on in the past and coming into the future, we will have to have nation building, and sometimes we might use the word race-first philosophy. How do we do this? We're going to have to come together and develop a 5-strategy framework.
The point is that we have to have revolutionary thinking. We have to move away from this idea that we keep begging them for our solutions.
I'm asking you for revolutionary ideas. I'm asking you for activism. Push against the system. Push against the school boards. Push against the political systems here. But remember one thing. We're asking for the complete liberation of African people. And if this thing we call activism is not going to release our people from the bondage, then we leave it alone. Right now, I want to set up this center to engage my community about pushing against the system so we can free our mind, get strong in this society. African-centered education. How are we going to do this? Because those who have enslaved us have been responsible for our education for the last 500 to 700 years. And what I'm saying to you now, in order to return to Sankofa, we must develop an education climate. We must have a center of education and higher learning for the child yet unborn, for the child coming up, for the parent, for youth, for elders, for old people. We have to have a center of education. We need a center of spirituality. As African people, we have lost most of our spiritual self. We are into other people's deities and other people's religion. So this is what we need to do. We need to develop this center of spirituality so we could reclaim our African spiritualities. And if we don't do that at this point in time, we will never get completely free. It's like we've been raped as a people, and now the rapist is now our teacher and our therapist. So we need to set up and deliver and develop a center of spirituality. The next center that we need to set up, and this is very important for our community as African people, we need to set up a center for health and holistic healing. We suffer from spirit injuries. We suffer from many things happen to the African, from the enslavement, the colonization, the destruction of the African self. And in order for us to reclaim our wholeness, we will have to, and I tell my family, my community, we will have to develop the great things we need. We will have to deal with the healing. And we need to get into that healing because our people suffer from spirit injury. We need a center for economic, entrepreneurial, nation building, becoming self-reliant as an African people. No race of people on this earth have depended on their enslaver for their economics. Today, most of us work in an industry where we're employed by the said person who had put us on the plantation. Now we move from plantation and we are in something we call the plants. How things move and how they stay the same. So this is the main thing I'm saying. We need a center of economic self-reliance development. And those are the centers of learning that we need to set up. We need to get organized, set up this organization. We need to unify all the Afrocentric people in this village. One Love, Hururu, Ashe, Otep, and Medasipa. In the next lifetime, we'll see an African liberation with all 5 frameworks, with all 5 centers working together. One Love.
This poem is dedicated to all those who realize that the African destiny lies in our ability to work together for the betterment of all our African peoples. I am calling all traditionalists, all voodoo practitioners. I am calling all Rastaman. I am calling all Nyabingi, all Babo, all 12 tribe. I am calling all races. I am calling all nations of Islam. I am calling all Christians, all Ethiopian Orthodox. I am calling all religions. I am calling all Africans. No longer shall we make religion cause division amongst Africans. And if it cause division amongst Africans are no longer worshiping religion, this call is an urgency calling, not an emergency calling. It's not even about 911 or even 119. This call is an urgency calling. It's not a telephone calling. Turn off your 10 live phone. This call is a positive calling. This call is a serious calling. This call is an urgency calling. I am calling all classes, lower class, middle class, and upper class. If classes cause division amongst Africans, our classes are now out of session. I am calling all intellectuals, even those in denial. Stop denying your African roots. Mind your beer strange fruits. You know, see how I go on in the street with the youth. Them a loot, them a shoot. I am calling all Jamaicans, all Trinidadians, all Cubans, all Grenadians. I am calling all Caribbeans. You're not even Africans. I am calling all West Indian. You don't even want to be West African. I am calling all European as long as you're an African. This is a Umoja calling. This is a melanin calling. This is a Pan-African calling. I am calling all Africans on the continent. I am calling all Africans on the diaspora. A time will come together. This is an economic calling. This is a self-reliance calling. This is an ancestral calling. I am calling the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Nanny. This is a